What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Gungrave Overdose! So, the unstoppable trio is back in action, and Grave is better and stronger than ever. So, it's time to finally take our revenge against the Corsione family, and they're going to be packing some serious heat this time, because we're giving it all we got.
Reno? Looks like you two are raring to go. This should be one hell of a gig.
You said it, Billy. Alright, let's do this. We have just about had enough of this mercenary unit, so we're going to take them all out once and for all. At least as many as we have to. No need in wasting lives needlessly, but if they get in our way, we're going to have no choice. And of course, they were unwise. So we're going to have a lot of enemies just in this first area right here. It's sort of a survival area. We just kind of have to stay in this one area and defeat all the enemies until the game lets us progress, sort of like a lot of the rooms in the first game. And guys will keep dropping in they'll keep rappelling off the walls and dropping in from helicopters, and it's ridiculous. It just keeps escalating and escalating until finally this whole place is laid in ruins, which we'll get to eventually. So, same basic variety of the mercenary enemies we've been fighting up until this point. We've only fought them a couple times, but yeah, this is their swan song. This is their last stand. We're gonna take them all out if we can help it. But yeah, so if you guys haven't noticed, oh, we got flashbang there. I don't know if I've established they can do that yet or not. But if I haven't mentioned it before, obviously there's a big five, so to speak, with this game as well, just like there was with the previous game for the Corsione family. And we already know who a few of them are. We know about Fangaram now, and we know about Don Corsione and Garino. But who are the others? We'll find out soon enough. Obviously, I consider one of them to be the mercenary unit commander, who we're going to be going up against pretty soon here. He's probably setting a trap for us, knowing the fact that he says he's killed dead men before. But we're not at least been intimidated by that, especially with what we've been through lately. We took a hit from one of our own weapons, from the strongest dead men, well, I would say alive, but that would be a contradiction. You guys know what I mean. So I think we'll be okay against a couple of mercenaries, some big-headed jarheads. Hopefully in this area I'm going to be able to demonstrate a new demolition shot, the Tier 3 AoE demolition shot, and it's cool. It's friggin' awesome, just as much as the forward-firing one was. But I'm waiting for a specific. Obviously trying to accumulate enough beat counter here to bring up my chain bonus enough to be able to actually acquire the 3 demolition shots required to cast the damn thing, and also I'm waiting for a specific enemy wave to be able to do it. Everything in this environment is destructible. All these columns, all these crates, everything is destructible in this room except for the boundaries itself, really. So we're going to bring all of this down before too long. Here we go. Alright, let's give this thing a shot, shall we? Bye. Wow, that was incredible. So yeah, that takes care of everything, and we just leveled this whole area. I mean, remember when we first dropped in and we were basically surrounded by crates and whatnot? Now it's completely open. We destroyed everything. I'm pretty happy about that. Alright, so from this point onward, there's going to be a lot of enemies that are going to be spawning in from little areas in the environment, like windows and doors and various other places like that, so we got to keep an eye open for that. It's going to keep persisting as we move on here, but thankfully there's some exploding barrels nearby. These smaller enemies, like I said, are going to keep respawning as they come through the windows like that throughout the various waves. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to my Tier 1 demolition shot for that, so I can get my shields back and take out a lot of these enemies in the process. I don't think this enemy type is really necessarily considered new. But there's an enemy type in this area, the mercenary unit, that uses the triple firing rocket launcher, which is obviously still just as easy to dodge. If anything, it causes more collateral to the enemies around you than it could pose a threat to you, because of your ability to block them and reflect them backwards at the enemies. So nothing I'm terribly worried about, but it'll be fun to demonstrate. They move faster. They're like the Stinger missiles that we saw earlier from that mini boss. Those guys are pretty much a standard enemy now. I think this game does have a couple of difficulty levels. I haven't really acknowledged that yet, but one of the things that I'm sure that changes with each difficulty level is how quickly your shields regenerate. So that is one thing to keep in mind. You kind of have to leave yourself perfectly still. But you can move, but you can't shoot or take any damage, or else your shield will not regenerate. It's very fickle in this game compared to the previous game and other games like it. But the mobility from the new control scheme really makes up for that, and the game is actually fairly well balanced. Honestly, I feel like this game has aged better than a lot of modern games. I was playing some modern shooters just to kind of pass the time earlier on my off days, and man, this game honestly has aged better than some of those have in terms of gameplay. It just, everything works. It does have a little bit of a learning curve to get used to, but if you play the first one, then you'll be right at home, and obviously it'll feel just right. Yeah, all these pillars are destructible too, and obviously we're going to be destroying them with all the collateral from these rockets flying all over the place. If only we could target that. I keep forgetting to use the target reassign button to toggle my target from the enemy I'm currently locked onto to something else, so I don't think I can lock onto those crates, or sorry, the exploding barrels necessarily, because if I could, I would have just switched to that and blown up that guy with the shield that way. Alright. That got them out of the way. I want to take it kind of slow in this area, make sure not too many enemies spawn. There's going to be a tank coming up soon, I believe, as well. One thing that's nice about the tank-type enemies, or any enemies that have a cannon like that, is the fact that it does show the cannon reticle on you, so you can attempt to dodge it, even though, you know, there's no way of actually blocking it. You're just going to take automatic damage as soon as it fires. You can avoid it, though, at least. All that gunfire when we didn't blow up all the exploding barrels. Oh well. Yeah, I think these are the guys I was talking about. No, they appear to be firing regular rockets. Okay. We'll see them eventually. Maybe it's the guy behind them there. Yeah, from here on out, though, these big type enemies with the shields and the rocket launchers will be able to fire 3 rockets. They don't fire them all straight. They fire them in a pattern, and then obviously the ones with the Stinger missiles, they fire 3 of them, and they just kind of home in on us regardless of what direction they fired them in. But they try to sweep them over a large area to do splash damage to you. But again, it's not all that effective when you can just block them back at the enemy. So the game is very generous with its frame. Oh, I think this guy's got it. He's got that 3-barreled. There he goes. This is the animation I was talking. That's a lot more than 3. Looks like I definitely underestimated that there. It's like 5 or 6 that he fires there, but he's got 3 barrels, and yeah, those were definitely the Stinger missiles.
Whoa, this is serious.
Oh boy. Here we go.
Watch out.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the difference by looking at them. These guys, their rocket launchers look like the same thing that, the same, like, sort of cartoonish, like, anime rocket launcher that they would give to, like, Evangelion Unit 1. I may go ahead and just use the ultimate, actually no, this is not the one I thought it was. Yeah, the rockets, I wanted to use that instead. That blew up all the cover that these guys are hiding behind, which did expose me. At least it allows me to actually get to the tank, which is important. It has a rocket launcher like all these enemies do, which I can reflect, which is nice. Deal some extra damage to it, but also Needless to say, the main tank cannon is what we really need to worry about, because that'll definitely eat right through us. I haven't really talked about the placement of the enemy health bars on the screen very much, because I really wanted to acknowledge that a little bit, because I really like the placement of that. I think it's very unintrusive, and I think it's very nice to know how much health the enemies have for combo purposes, of course, but also for bosses and big enemies like that. But I like that way better than having the health bar over the enemies' heads. Like, a lot of games do that, and when there's nothing wrong with that too. I mean, Bossera did that, and it was slightly intrusive, but I think I prefer this overall. It's kind of nice. I'm not sure how. I'm pretty sure the first Gungrave did it this way as well, but very nice HUD setup for this game. It really is very unintrusive.